What exactly are smart contracts? If you've been watching the other videos in this learning program series, you might have heard me mention this a couple of times, and I wanted to do a deeper dive of what they are exactly. Now, smart contracts are self-executing contracts where the terms of the agreement between buyer and seller are directly written into the lines of code. These contracts automatically enforce and execute the agreed upon terms when predefined conditions are met without the need for intermediaries. Smart contracts run on blockchain platforms, ensuring transparency, security, and immutability. So let me explain that in simpler terms. Whenever we're making an agreement in real life, I might say, hey man, I want to sell you 1,000 sheep. You give me $1,000. And what ends up happening is I might give them the sheep. We have some sort of written contract, and I have to hope that that dude is going to give me my $1,000 for my 1,000 sheep. Now, what's interesting is a lot of times these contracts end up not happening, or then someone ends up not fulfilling their side of the bargain. And now you run into a situation where you have all these legal fees and lawyers, and it's this whole situation, right? What's really interesting with smart contracts is they actually came out with Ethereum back in 2015. And what it enabled was it enabled us for code to be the enforcer of some sort of agreement. So on the blockchain, for example, let's say I'm on Ethereum and I have 1,000 sheep NFTs or 1,000 digital sheep that I have as an NFT, right? And I say, hey, I want $1,000 for these 1,000 sheep. What I can do is I can use some sort of decentralized application like a marketplace, something like OpenSea, and I can list those 1,000 NFTs for that $1,000. And what ends up happening is someone might come along and they say, hey, I want to buy those sheep. They send $1,000 worth of Ethereum, and then they automatically will get those 1,000 sheep. Because what happened is when I listed those sheep, I signed a smart contract or I signed an agreement. The moment that I get $1,000 is the moment that these sheep are leaving my wallet and going to this other individual. And what's really cool about it is there's no third party or centralized authority that's like, okay, he got the sheep. Okay, he got the money. Okay, let's do this. There's no bank involved or anything like that. But instead, it is a code that different dApps or decentralized applications can use called a smart contract that both parties are agreeing with. And the actual use cases for this are absolutely immense. And I'll go into it a little bit further in the video. Now, what's really interesting is even though I used OpenSea, my sheep were never actually on OpenSea. They were on a smart contract. There is no main party handling this, but instead it was the smart contract which I interacted with on the blockchain. And then the moment the condition was met of me getting that money, that smart contract was executed and they gave that guy the sheep. And what's really cool is because it's on the blockchain, all these smart contracts can be read, so you can verify that this smart contract is actually legit and isn't some sort of scam. Now, how exactly did these smart contracts start? Well, Bitcoin came out in 2009, but it doesn't have the capabilities and it will never have the capabilities of smart contracts. And that's why in 2015, Ethereum came out with these capabilities, and they've been getting upgraded ever since inception. And it opened up a whole world of possibilities, like I had mentioned, where you can have all these decentralized applications, NFTs, and other innovations that are using the smart contract technology. And now we have all of these new blockchains outside of Ethereum that are building their own ecosystems and have their own smart contracts on those chains. Now, the main benefits of smart contracts is that they're self-executing. Like I said, whenever the conditions are met, they automatically execute. They're completely decentralized and operate on the blockchains. So there's no main party that these smart contracts have to go through. Because they're on the chain, you can view all of these different codes. It's completely transparent, so you know what you're interacting with and if it's legit or a scam. They're immutable, meaning that these smart contracts cannot be changed once they're online. And because of that, you know that someone can't just change these smart contracts in the future. And because it's on the blockchain, they are very secure for the most part. There's a few different major use cases that I want to bring up with these different smart contracts. The first thing is DeFi, which is decentralized finance. Think of borrowing, lending, different marketplaces. I can say, hey, I'm going to put a certain amount of my Bitcoin as collateral and I want to get a loan on this. And now anyone peer-to-peer can interact with these different smart contracts and give these different loans. So really cool stuff. There's different use cases when it comes to supply chain management. When it comes to real estate, you can have different rental agreements. You can have different ownership transfers. You can have your digital identity tied to these different smart contracts. You can do different voting or what they call governance. And you can have various games and NFTs within this as well, such as me fighting some sort of monster, me signing a a smart contract, and if I win, I get a certain amount of token, and if I lose, maybe I lose my NFT, right? So there's a lot of different use cases for smart contracts. There's probably a list of 100 that I can put out there, but just imagine anything that has a contract in real life, you can now make that contract in code and make it a smart contract. The last major thing that I want to bring up about these smart contracts is there are risks with them. There are hacks and exploits constantly, especially in this space. Just think about it, guys. You have different developers that are building out this code, and if they mess up one thing, that could lead to you losing your money or there being some sort of hack or exploit in the future. So a lot of companies or a lot of projects will go through a process called audits, where they have different companies that literally audit and verify that this smart contract is safe before it actually gets listed. You do have some smart contracts out there that have stand the test of time, such as Uniswap, which is the biggest decentralized exchange out there. But just realize whenever you're messing with these smart contracts that there could always be some sort of hack or exploit in the future, especially since all the code is easily verifiable and viewable on the blockchain. And you have countries like North Korea literally hiring whole teams where their job is to hack and exploit these contracts and be able to get all of these funds. So that's one of the issues with smart contracts and one thing you have to be aware of.